We're about to be absolutely bombarded by information about the election in Australia, so how are we going to make our vote count? We spoke to the Australian Electoral Commission to answer just that.
So when you go to vote at a federal election, you'll be given two pieces of paper. So you'll be given a smaller green one, which is for the House of Representatives in Parliament, and a much larger, sometimes white one, which is for the Senate with a lot more candidates on it. And the basic premise is that your vote will always end up where you want it to be. And that's because we have something called preferential voting. So you have to mark on the House of Representatives green ballot paper, mark all the boxes in the order of your preference. And basically what happens is that if your most preferred candidate gets knocked out, we keep moving down your preferences until it finally ends up with one of the final two candidates in the count. So effectively, your vote is always contributing to that final vote tally in those last two candidates. We see it in a few other countries, but a lot of times people can get confused between preferential voting and what's called first past the post. So that's what they have in places like the UK or the US. And some of the differences there is that your preferences don't flow down the ballot paper. They'll be assigned to where you vote them in the first place. So part of our work here at the AEC is making sure that people understand how that preferential voting system works. And you'll see across different states and territories that they've got preferential voting, but sometimes there can be little small differences here or there between those different elections, such as whether you need to mark every box. Is a really big one. So that's why it's always best to double check what the ballot paper is telling you to say. When you look at how preferential voting actually works, if you ever go on the AEC tally room, which is our online counting center, you can look at previous results and you can actually see where the preferences flow. It's quite interesting. And you can see when candidates are knocked out, where all the different votes have gone from there. And it sort of might go from 8 candidates to 7, 6, so on, until it's with those final two. So that can also help gain an understanding of how that preferential voting system works.